options here. Hard to find multiple laners that dominate a cannon in the top lane. Vladimir, for example, which hasn't necessarily been working for a lot of players, is a classic counterpick. He's shifting in, even if it is a Draven Thresh lane. Cuz is top.
Yep, and Rascal, he's hit level 6. There's no level 6 for King, and this gank timing is phenomenal, and that's just Rascal doing all.
If Draven gets 2 items, couple of cash-ins, there is always that chance that KT can make this happen in the late game. Is right now.
Yep, Justice Punch comes in. Pawn has to ultimate. Does have that blue buff running, but not a lot of mana. His score goes down, and Deft picks up the kill with the True Shot barrage. Cuz goes underground and picks up the second one. The bait was beautiful. A red buff that he picked up from the mid lane whilst staying in his lane. Tucson goes down. I mean, there's a lot of damage there, but the Grey Health is going to be eaten. Didn't need to activate at all. As you can see, Deft going aggressive onto Gango. This could actually be a problem as Whirling Death does come down. This should be a trade as the exhaust comes in. Blast Auto is going to be enough there, but not worth it. It's the double kill and the big old cash in. Do this on complete vision of Kingzone. But BDD is going to have to watch his tower fall down because Shelly set up shop here very, very quickly as Score. He's on the bottom side of the map, but I don't know whether Kingzone are going to fall for this one. They've got a very defensive bottom lane. Snowflower looking for the hook, gets it onto Deft. We are going to have the double flay to come in as well as Tucson has to flash. Eats the Grey Health as Gango. Whirling Death is just going to straight up miss. Right off the edge of Runeterra. Does pick up Deft on the back end, but True Shot Barrage comes in.
Desperate to get this bot lane turret to unlock Gango. This should be the moment.
Yep, they are going to be able to take it down. Demolish proc there from Snowflower. Says thank you very much.
Use as available as possible.
No more Varus.
Well, Fawn's going to come in, and they're looking to try and get rid of King in here. World Ender does go down, but Kingzone should be able to just wait this one out if they want to. Fawn gets the Aftershock, and now Kinnan has to try and flap his little wings as fast as he possibly can. The ultimate does wear off, and he creates enough distance as Deft and Tucson turn up towards the top side. Devour going to be used very early as an Ocean Drake is the second roll, and that means Kingzone straight up don't care. They'll take down another outer turret, top side of the map, and look to push further forward.
If I'm Smab, I'm already kind of flexing, getting ready for game number 2, because King once again had very poor synergy with his lanes, as no steal comes through there. If we get a
Cuz actually with a lot of utility available as Tucson and Deft going aggressive. Cuz gets a decent knock up into the backline, but he's most likely going to die. That slicing Maelstrom was huge as Snowflower goes down, but the Whirling Death is going to be utilized here as great Devour there from Tucson, looking to spit Pond back out right into the middle of the team. The ultimate's gigantic as Deft takes down Gango, gets himself over the wall. He's going to be absolutely fine as Kingin had the World Ender, but he's still going to die in Kingzone. Just style on the team fight.
They were playing in fine margins. They wanted almost guaranteed to happen in this game.
I think it's going to be Snowflower.
Okay.
Personally.
I mean, choosing the people that game.
King is rotating over. Gango's getting all of his health back very, very quickly. As Ocean Drake goes down in favor of Kingzone this time. They're trying to cycle it through, but they'll only get a Clown Drake. As their next one, shout out to LS. Don't worry, I'm keeping the right words as Kingin has to flash. World Ender's in there, but he's down immediately into the stasis. A lot of damage here as Spawn gets a cheeky Q off, and I don't think the Galio can actually engage. Kingin is looking to try and get in there, but immediately score. Is he going to go down? Is it going to be 500 kills? Here for Deft, he's in the backline as Kingin's trying to take him down. World Ender is going to keep the Aatrox alive as in goes Rascal. The slicing Maelstrom is gigantic, flashes forward, Gango's going to get stunned. The cannon grabs the first kill as Cuz grabs the second, and KT, they've got nothing left. Gango's trying to get a kill. He does almost pick one up. It's actually Kingin that steals that one away. And now Deft looking for it. Snowflower, he was almost the right target as Gango with the Whirling Death in the backline. If they want to start up a fight here, don't even know whether it's necessarily an option here for these guys as Kingzone, they take down the
lineup that when it comes to execution we're still evaluating because they're coming together as a 5-man roster for the first time this year. They don't have the same run fraught with danger the entire time, but for certainly some scenarios there, and Gango's farmed out.
Barrage and Pawn is just waiting to get his claw in there. Gango in trouble. Snowflower already incredibly low. All of the Mystic Shots are landing as in goes Pawn. He does find the ultimate onto Gango, but he has himself the Mercury's Treads. Okay, Snowflower is going to go down. It's a double kill for Pawn already as Kingin has found the backline. Hero's Entrance comes in as well. It's a decent double taunt, but Cuz gets the next one, and it's on to Gango. That's the bad news story is Kingin going down low. Tucson tries to get him. We're looking for the 1,000th kill. Land it with a Q def. Come on, there it is. 1,000 kills for Def. Over in China as well, so this guy gets a hell of a lot of kills. whenever he's here in the LCK.
And he was the EDG win condition for years.
Absolutely. He was the anti-Uzi.
If we add the LPL kills, his regular season kills will be much closer to 1,500, 1,600.
This siege minion, but now the next one is prepped. And Rascal should be able to see to it. There we go. Infernal Chains do land here, but Kingen probably not wanting to take that fight. Does have a couple of ways to keep himself alive in these team fights, but when he's reviving from the World Ender or the GA, he's not impacting it, and his health bar just goes down so incredibly quickly, as you can already see. Inhibitor goes without KT having any response. Just looks like they have no options here against Kingzone DragonX. Death Sentence comes in, but Deft is looking for it. These Mystic shots are really hurting. And another inhibitor is sure to follow.
2 and a W, and Snowflower's almost dead. They don't even need to dive in and use Cannon Ultimate. They're getting all the objectives. KT, one last roll of the dice, and I think it's too late.
Yep, Deft is just so incredibly strong right now, able to get these Ws onto these Nexus turrets. Half health for the first one. Teleport to come in as Bond just recharges that health bar. Next one is going to go down. KT need to start a fight soon if they want to keep their Nexus alive, because there's only one turret between them and certain defeat. His score goes in. No GA available just yet. Puts everyone in the baby cage. Triple threat on the True Shot Barrage. And now KT, you have to go back to your fountain. This one is over. It's time to start looking at game number 2 as there's a slicing Maelstrom. Some R buttons still need to be pressed, but the Nexus is inevitably going to go down.
And Kingzone continue their clean run, 7-0 in the past 7.
Yeah, that
will
means
be the
choice.
choice.
Yeah, heading towards the mid lane most likely. I guess Pon is a notable Gangplank player of old. However, you're not...
LW94, who had a career retrospective on the 1,000 kills as we go top lane.
Yeah, there's the Flash Audacious charge. Rascal doesn't even eat oranges in time, but does eventually pick them up. The last poke going to come in, and Score will get first blood.
It's just going to be a red buff steal and probably just a red buff trade and just a straight up Drake win. The side of Kingzone, so knowing their timings, playing towards the clock. If you're a top team, you make those plays.
Remember, guys, so there is just no way that KT, even if they had members down here, could do anything to stop this turret from going down. Deft grabs it. You can see all of that bounty. Not finding too much joy there as Tucson catches him. Doesn't hit him, though. Oh my god, this damage. As there's the flash immediately from Deft. Wants to keep himself out of the way as Cuz is in trouble. Kingen with the ultimate. Has to flash to get out of there, does Cuz. But the ult is going to come through yet again. Kingzone underneath their turrets. We do have the cannon barrage that has gone down, but Cuz is already dead. And Kingen dealt with him. There we go, Circle of Frost is huge as Score picks up the Cogmore. Is he going to have the passive for the kill? Looks like the answer is no. A Snowflower right underneath the turret is getting the work done. The Frozen Thralls, and Shelly's going to go in there before this is going to even things out. 14 minutes in, so no turret plates were picked up there by Shelly, I'm pretty sure.
Well, Cull will go a long way to answering that CS lead. They're going to trade objectives this time.
And are now looking to try and flip the script. Try and take this one down as the tempo advantage is on the side of... He's going to come down here as Kingen. Going to try and get himself away. There's BDD making his way forward. Deft needs to find the right target. Good ult comes out of Tucson. His Score has to go into his stopwatch very early. Pawn flashing on forward. Gets the Rune Prison Zenit. He's going to go down. Cogmore grabs his third kill. Realm Warp to get Kingzone into the stragglers. And BDD is going to die to Rascal. Snowflower now in trouble. Kingen, it's 1 against 5 when it comes to the damage. Just instantly Deft cleanses out of the way. Kingen trying to get there, but Deft gives him a cheeky auto to the face, and that's 17 that the Vayne was able to do. And look at this Baron melt. The cannon barrage is there. Score's just not able to get into this pit. Cuz locks that one down. Snowflower's already basically dead just because they had to walk through the ultimate. The Crescent Sweep is going to wear off. That's a Prey Seeker that locks down the kill, and this could just be another ace. As you can see, Kingen just trying to desperately escape from this game.
Atlas Cogmore did 10 times the damage of Vayne in the previous fight, and it was another one just like that. The Vayne might actually lose the game before he has 2 items.
Yeah. Might lose the game before he manages to do more than 3,000 damage himself, to be perfectly honest, because those damage numbers have not been very high. Kingzone with Deft at the helm, looking to take down their first inhibitor turret at 23.5 minutes into this game.
That usually Juggermore requires.
I can confirm that this certainly isn't a Juggermore comp, but he might just be in the front line. Zenit's dead. Deft picks up that kill all too easily, and KT, I think the only safe place you have is your fountain, and I'm not even sure that's safe because of the range of this pug.
Kingzone walk up. That's a short cooldown. They can return to it very shortly.
Yep. Another Realm Warp comes down as Def gets into the Frozen Tomb, but he's still alive. He's trying to lifesteal his way back. He finally dies. 1,000 gold goes to Kingen as they have managed to take down the raid boss, but is there enough damage left over is the answer.
No.
As Kingen, he's once again just running for the hills. He wonders whether or not he's the only man on his team.
They're trying so hard to extend the game. They're diving in first. Face first on a Cogmore, it doesn't matter. Kingzone, too far ahead.
Yep, that's 10,000 gold the lead. That is 2 inhibitors that have bitten the dust, and thankfully it's 25 minutes in, so the death timers aren't too long, and they don't just going to go down more as a formality here for Kingzone DragonX. Rather than anything else, next Drake's going to be a cloud. Yep, exactly right. Okay, Score looking to find his way in. Audacious Charge is going to land onto Def. Gets a nice knock up. Crescent Sweep is going to be in there, but look at the damage. Score is just straight up dead. He couldn't get enough work done. Tucson picks up the kill, and now Def takes the blast cone to get himself over. Zenit is free hitting. Tucson is going to go down. Def trying to get back in here, but they're not going to find it. God, the damage. Okay, the Baron's dead, guys. It didn't start dead, but it almost looked like it did. So I think that the analogy works out very, very well there, Papa Smithy. Snowplow going to get slowed down by the Winter's Bite. Cuz looking for it. BD finds the backline. Score as well. He's going to jump onto Deft. He does go into his stopwatch here as the Crescent Sweep is going to wear off. Deft survives for a long time, but eventually does fall down. But Pawn still alive, still doing the damage as Score is in trouble. Cuz now looking to find his way in, but Zenit is kiting this one out. He's looking for the pentakill. The Quadra does come in, and Cuz is going to deny it.
Ability to spread on hit damage, so I think the Hurricane is necessary. If you go GA and you still, he was 0-3 and 3.
Yep. It's one of those late games that you get to and it's like, well, I mean, how do we lose this game? And the answer is, you feed Zenit a quadra kill. There's a chance the KT come back in this one. Outer turret in the mid lane is going to be taken there by Kingen. He's trying to get in and try and challenge. Cannon Barrage is going to come through. That's going to guarantee the turret as BDD has to ult himself. That means that that's not going to be a tool that's available. Still slowed, has to claw to get out. Wind becomes lightning. Score is going to try and get some poke damage, but they're going to lose their last inhibitor turret. And this inhibitor is going to follow as well.
Important thing about the timing, though, 2 inhibitors here minimum.
Yep, Claw is going to come in. Tucson blocks it. BDD not going to follow up. Zenit at about half health. Kingen looking for the flank. Rascal gonna have to flash to get out of the way. The E is going to be avoided as Kingen not going to be able to re-engage. Kingzone still looking for it. Zenit has the ult on cooldown.
If Kingzone commit to a fight where Zenit comes in with his Rage Blade stacked, they will lose it, Atlas.
Yep. Zenit now doesn't have final hour. That's going to be very important for this next one. Barrels getting dealt with, but as is this inhibitor. Score in trouble. BDD gets exhausted, has to ult himself. Kingen has found the backline. Audacious Charge from Score gets him in there as well as Def is able to limp away. Kingen trying to get on top of him, but it's Rascal that finishes it off. BDD in the backline. Pawn is just being ignored, and it's a double kill for the Gangplank. Kingzone, they've routed them, and Def is barely able to survive.
They needed a team fight like that. They needed execution because this game was oh so close. Can they end the game here? They TP back from Rascal.
Yeah, well, Zenit's now trying to do it. He's trying to be that one-man army. He goes into the GA. I just think that it's too little too late. Doesn't have enough buttons left, and Def is going to put him in the grave. This is going to be the Kingzone 2-0. KT made it interesting, but the Nexus will fall down for the 8th time in a row for Kingzone DragonX.
And while Kingzone continue that clean win streak, they learn a story that your mom told you many moons ago. Don't play with your food. They played with their food, Atlas, and 0-3 Vayne suddenly became Headache Vayne. They popped their paracetamol, they get through the headache, but that was much closer for Kingzone than it needed to be.
Yep, I was getting that PTSD coming back from those solo queue games we were talking about in the Griffin series. That was Viper destroying people on the Vayne. This was almost Zenit with a way to get back in, but in the end, your victors will be Kingzone DragonX 4-0 against KT Rolster. We're going to hear from Pawn and Def, our 2 boys that came back from China and joined KT Rolster now on Kingzone. So let's throw it over to Ji-sun for some translation.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Ji-sun with the interpret translation, and congratulations to Pawn and Def picking up the 2-0 victory. So how do you feel about picking the first MVP of the split, Pawn? After the first set, I knew that I did quite well, but at the same time, Def got his 1,000 kills. So I didn't expect to be the MVP. MVP. But since I got the MVP, I thought that they are really fair and they know what's going on. Yeah, Pon, you did miss a lot of MVPs even though you were performing so well. So were you sad back in the days? Well, I was a little bit unhappy, but what really mattered, and the player who got the MVP, who was the one who performed better than me, so I didn't really pay too much attention. Maybe I was just a little bit sad. And Def, congratulations on your 1,000 kills in LCK, and also you are back in the first place of the MVP standings in LCK.
1, 2세트 둘 다 이제
In both games,
제가 개인적으로 좀 실수들이 나온 것
well,
같아서
I personally think that I made a lot of mistakes. So even though we got the win, I don't feel that happy.
아쉬운 점이 좀 있으셨는지 아까 경기 끝나고도 표정이 좀 굳어 있는 모습이었는데 그래도 승리하셨으니까 저는
Well, but
축하해드리면서
Kingzone did get the victory. It was a stomp, so I want to celebrate over here. And also, Pon,
굉장히 본인의
well,
경기력에 대한 피드백을 스스로
you
많이
always give a lot of
알고
feedbacks of
있어요.
your own
네,
performance.
많이 좀 찾아보고. 네, 빗돌림이
Was that mentioned in the analyst desk? Yeah, Bittori mentioned it. So I heard you look for a lot of feedback from the community. So why is that? Whenever I do a game, I want to just check out what I did well, what I did bad. So I am always trying to give feedback to myself.
플레이 돌아보시고 계시다고 말씀해 주셨습니다. 폰 선수 사실
And Pon,
지금 상체 힘이 올라온 게 미드
well,
정글의 합이
with
굉장히
players on the top side
좋아졌다라는
improving,
평가가
the key
있습니다.
was
실제로도
improved
폰 선수와의
synergy with you and Cuz, the mid jungle synergy. I've been performing with Cuz for several months. Well, we haven't been playing together in different seasons, so after 2 or 3 months, I think we found our own rhythm. And all the players are doing so well now, so I think that was how we got the synergy improved. And we want to mention about Rascal's champion pool because that kind of gave more advantage to Kingzone's draft. Yes, Rascal, he can use any kind of champion on the top lane. So whenever the opponents pick a counter pick of our first pick, he can always just repeat it in the top lane. So that's a big strength of our pick and ban.
많은 도움을 주고 있는 라스칼 선수 얘기도 해봤습니다. 1세트에 리산드라가
In
정말
game
상대의
1,
갱을 다 흘려버리는
there was this
모습이
highlight
인상적이었습니다.
when you
그
absorbed
장면 한번
the gang
보면서 얘기
perfectly.
나눠볼게요.
So let's go through this replay together.
자, 이때 분명히 상대가 보이셨던 거죠.
Did you have him in the vision, the J4? Well, I knew he was on my way, on his way, but I had vision over there, so when it comes to Lysandra, Galio matchup, well, I knew that Galio will just flash taunt me and
네.
J4 will follow up, so I knew that, so I was able to dodge and sidestep all the skills and manage to survive.
뭐 확실하게 자신감 있으셨던
So was it
건가요?
all calculated? Were you confident?
그냥 자르반이 미드에 좀 더 가까이 와서 했으면 죽었을 것
Well,
같은데
if J4 was closer to the mid lane, I would have died, but he wasn't really close enough, so I knew that I will never ever die there.
1세트 이렇게 멋지게 캐리해 주셨습니다. 자, 2세트는 데프트
Game
선수와
two.
얘기 나눠볼게요.
We're gonna talk about Deft over here.
굉장히
Kog'Maw
인상적이었습니다. 거의
showed up.
작년
It
서버에
was really
나오고 그때도
impressive.
데프트
It
선수가 하셨고요.
also has
이번에
been a
처음 나오는 건데요.
long time.
베인 상대로 준비를 하셨던 픽인가요?
Was that a Vayne specific pick?
개인 상대로 이제 좋은 픽들이 거의 이제 사거리가 대부분
So
긴 픽들인데
the counter pick of Vayne or the champions that outranges Vayne, and Kog'Maw was one of the champions that I was confident with.
코그모가 사실은 뚜벅이 챔이다 보니까 한계가 명확하고
However,
약점도
Kog'Maw,
많은
you know, it
챔인데요.
doesn't have any
그런
dash,
부분은
so
어떻게
there is a
극복하셨다고
valid
생각하셨나요?
weakness. So how did you prepare and play around it?
네, 대부분 뚜벅이들이 이제 그런
Well,
약점이
the
있는데
players
대신
the
대부분 이제
champions without dashes have
턴만
those
잘
kind of
넘기면
weakness, but
적팀이
if you
다
just
죽는 그림이
get over
나오기
that
때문에
kind of weakness, I have,
잘 넘겼어야
well, I can
되는데
actually carry the game by that, just free dealing in the backline, but I did make some mistakes.
그래서 아쉬워하는 모습이 조금 마음이 아픕니다. 하지만 투신 선수 브라운과의 호흡도
However,
굉장히
your
좋았다고
teamwork
생각이
with
들고요.
Tusin
그리고
on
또
Brown was
데프트
really
선수의 천 킬이
awesome.
나왔습니다.
And also,
그 다음
you
저희
got your
만나볼
1,000th
텐데요.
kill in
첫 킬
LCK,
소감
so
한번 들어볼게요.
how do you feel about that?
네.
네, 천킬 달성했을 때 기대하고 계셨나요?
Were you expecting it?
오늘 오기 전에 이제
Well, before I
거의
joined this
KT
team
전에서
fight,
킹킬을 할 수 있겠다.
no, before I came to the arena today, I thought that I would be able to picking up the 1,000 kill today, but I'm a bit sad that it wasn't Smap that I took down for the 1,000 kill.
팀원들이 좀 데프트 선수에게 킬을 주려고 노력하는
Were your
모습도
teammates
조금
trying to
있었던
give you
것
kills?
같은데 맞나요? 어떤가요?
일단 게임에
Well, in game?
들어가서는 다들 일단 이기는 게
Well,
제일
actually, what really
중요해서
matters is winning the
네,
game.
딱히 저를
Well, so we didn't really pay attention of giving kills to me.
원딜이어서 주지 않았을까.
Maybe I was just AD carry and I was able to pick up the kills.
그리고 이 세트 정말 킹존이 유리하게 가져가다가
Game 2, Kingdom was in a big lead.
몇 번의 실수가
However, there were a bit of a
있었어요.
mistakes
팬분들 많이 궁금해하실
and sloppy
텐데
moments.
아까 선수의 집에서 라이즈 공을 타는
Especially
장면이 있었는데
you guys
그때 5명이 다 같이
were on the
진입을
Rise
하고
Ultimate.
있던 건가요? 손 선수
At near the enemy nexus, this is the moment.
긴박한 상황이다 보니까 이때 상황이 텐션이 좀 너무 올라가.
Well, this was a very close moment, so our tension was a bit high.
쌍둥이까지 할 수 있을 것 같다. 이렇게
So we actually had a communication that we will be able to take down the Nexus turrets. But so we were trying to just bring the minions and take down the turrets and zone them out. But we had a bit of a miscommunication, so all 5 members just took the bomb warp, so that kind of went wrong. So I think it's my bad. I should have been more clear about giving shot calls. Kingzone was huge in a huge lead, so that didn't really affect the game much. And Pawn, this was your first MVP, and Def, this was your day of 1,000 kill in LCK, so it's a very celebrative moment, so please give a warm round of applause. And your next opponent will be Africa. Africa, they are back in their form, so how are you going to prepare for that match? Well, in Africa, there are a lot of my former teammates, like Yuka and Sun. If I were not sick back in the seasons, they wouldn't have been able to even perform on stage, so I'm going to show what I've got to them. And what about you, Dev? You're wearing a small green on your face. How are you going to prepare for the Africa series?
저랑 같은 포지션이 아니었어서
Well, those players who are not sharing position with me, so I'm just gonna do my best to win that game. Can you expect something more like Kog'Maw and pocket picks? Yeah, if I have any situation to play,
네, 알겠습니다.
any picks are available.
킹존에 이제 상체 폰 선수까지 MVP 받으셨으니까 이제 정말
So all 5 players have picked up MVP in Kingzone, so it kind of implies that all Kingzone players are flawless. So this will be the end of the interview with Pawn and Def from Kingzone, and I'm going to pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ji-sun. Fantastic to hear from Pawn and Deft. And there's a notable difference in how Pawn is talking. He's not quite the arrogant force that he often is. He was speaking real humbly there.
I mean, I didn't take that from it because he basically said those were my old teammates and they would never have played.
Oh, in that smack talk, yes.
That was some good
before
smack
that,
talk.
like his talk about feedback and things like that, it's not what I was expecting out of Pawn.
I made a 50-50 from him. I must admit, I once again watched a Deft interview where if you think about it as him being a sentient alpaca, it makes more sense. That's just how Deft is. He is the alpaca at all moments, and well, his bloodthirst has yielded 1,000 domestic kills in Korea, plenty of titles over in China as well. So
that's one carnivorous alpaca, absolutely.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah, there certainly hasn't been that kind of alpaca in the alpacas that I've seen. As we take a look at the standings once again, you can see playoffs still confirmed. After that one, not actually going to change too much about the standings, though, to be perfectly honest. We need to see more from Damwon Gaming and Hanwha Life to see whether or not Damwon are going to guarantee 5th place for themselves.
If Gen.G beat Africa, I think KT is screwed. It's going to be very hard for them to reach 5 match wins. And right now, their best hope is that Africa beats Gen.